I'm Danny, and this is the Scream Princess podcast. Hello, girls and boys, and welcome to another episode of the Scream Princess podcast. I'm Danny, and I'm here today with Simon Turner from Studio 7 Props. How are you doing today, Simon?
I'm fine, thank you. Yeah, you?
Good, I'm very well, thank you. It's actually Easter Sunday as we're recording this. Have you done any Eastery things today or none?
No, not really. I'm actually in the middle of building a dragon for Shrek the Musical for a local theatre group.
Oh,
So
amazing.
I've spent most of my sort of day out in the workshop trying to get this head built.
Right.
So no Easter eggs or anything.
No Easter eggs, anything. Well, see, I've never been an Easter lover. I don't. I mean, I'm not into religion and things, so Easter's not really for me. I like Christmas because I do
Yeah,
believe in presents, but
yeah, yeah.
Easter, I don't. I've never liked chocolate, so it's kind of not really. It's not really my thing. So
You don't.
home alone anyway. He's at work today, and I had loads of work to do. And my neighbours they're putting a new decking in their garden, but they were doing this last weekend as well. They've literally been drilling and hammering and sawing. So they've stopped now. I was like, well, I hope they
Yeah,
stop before 5 o'clock. But they've been doing it
yeah,
all day. So my work's kind of this morning I ended up kind of just chilling and doing nothing. There's nothing I can do. And then I've just kind of squeezed a little bit of recording and filming in just before you. So I'm
yeah.
actually in pajamas at the moment. I thought I'm just gonna chuck some pajamas on. And be comfortable for the podcast. And then I'm gonna
Yeah,
get back to my work afterwards.
yeah. I can't believe you. So you didn't like chocolate, or you don't like chocolate?
I've never really liked chocolate. I mean, on a like a rare occasion, obviously I have vegan chocolate, but on a rare
Yeah,
occasion, I'll have chocolate. But no, I've always preferred sweets. So I've always
right,
liked like jelly sweets and like Haribo and all that kind of stuff rather than chocolate. So I
right.
still like my sugar rush, but not really chocolate.
Right. Oh, I've got to know. I love chocolate.
Do you?
I have to
Well,
say, yeah, yeah.
I don't like chocolate and I don't like ice cream, but I do like chocolate ice cream.
Okay, yeah, that's all right. That's
So
right. My son's autistic, so he's got all sorts of bizarre food things, combinations, and that. So I'm used to
what's
that.
his favorite one? What's his favorite weird food combination?
Well, he'll have like he likes cheese, he likes beans, he likes chips, but he wouldn't have them all together.
Right.
So
I'm not a
you can
baked
get
bean fan either.
that.
My
You
friend
can get
yesterday
cheesy
sent a
chips.
picture of her dinner and she had shepherd's pie with baked beans. And I was like, that is the weirdest combination. Like, who has shepherd's pie with baked beans?
Yeah, no, that's not my sort of thing. I have to say,
No, no, weird.
no.
Anyway. So I'm gonna get the neighbours back soon anyway. So I need to do my garden this year. So I moved in last year,
Right.
renovated the inside. So this year it's garden. So I'm gonna get them back with the noise in a few weeks' time, I think. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't blame you. But on a Sunday, that's a bit off, especially Easter
on
Sunday.
Easter
I have
Sunday,
to say,
I don't think they
yeah,
care. I don't think they care. I don't care that it's Easter Sunday, but I'm, you know, I work from home most of the time
yeah,
and I need it to be quiet. I hate other
yeah.
people's noise.
No, I can understand that. Well, I was trying not to make too much noise out there today because my neighbours were out in their garden.
Yeah.
But I tell you, I'm building this dragon's head, so it did involve a little bit of drilling and banging. But I thought I better not do too much because it being Easter Sunday as well. But
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. So you actually were a gardener. You started out doing, I think when I met you,
I'm,
you're sort of transitioning from
yeah,
doing garden landscaping to film, prop design, set builds.
yes, that's it. Yeah, I was a gardener for about 30 odd years, probably.
Now I'm like,
So
why
it's
doesn't
only
he
about
live closer when I need my garden done? But you're so far away.
well, I used to travel, but maybe not all that far.
Maybe, yeah, not like a 5 hour drive.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I can get a lawnmower on the train, to be
I
honest.
haven't got a lawn.
Oh right. Oh, that's all right then. So no, I sort of gave up about 2 weeks ago. Officially, sort of finished with my customers to try and
Okay.
make go into the film prop set design. Try and make it the sort of the career. I mean, a lot of it was because I was struggling a little bit. I've had 2 knee operations and all sorts of things, um, so I was struggling with the gardening. It was sort of catching up on me.
Yeah.
And because of that, I wasn't enjoying it as much. Whereas since I've been sort of last 18 months been doing all the props and stuff,
Mhm.
I sort of enjoy that more than
Yeah.
what I did gardening. So
Yeah. I mean, I
yeah,
suppose with
so
gardening, you're doing something different every day, but also it's definitely in film, every project that you work on is going to be something completely different. I mean, I think straight up gardening would be like cutting people's grass and trimming stuff. But
yeah.
if you're doing like a full landscape, that's super exciting that you've got,
Well, I was more of a garden maintenance, so I
right.
went had like regular garden customers, and to be
Yeah.
honest, it was like almost the same thing every week.
Yeah.
Um, Same sort of like weeding, grass cutting.
Yeah.
Whereas, like say, the film, getting into this film sort of lark, it's everything's different. So,
Mm.
like last week, I was working for Michael Fausti. Me and my brother were doing something completely different to building a Shrek
And I
dragon
know
for
you
a
won't be able to tell me about that because he's so secretive about his project.
yeah. Yes, yeah, but it was something I've never built before.
Right.
Um, so yeah, that was different. Saying and today, this weekend, I've been back building a dragon for like a kids show.
Oh.
And what I built for him last week, you definitely wouldn't see in a kids show.
Well, I'm excited to see it. I'm sure I will see it in Horror on Sea like next year or
Yeah,
something. I'm sure I
yeah,
will.
yeah,
I'm sure I'll catch it, whatever it is. So when I got in touch with you, I
yeah,
think it was through, I think it was when I was doing Dragon. So I was doing Dragon, which was the second part of the horoscopes
yeah.
trilogy, and it was the Chinese horoscopes, and I'd been offered a space basically. So Spencer Hawkin, who's at Lumiere Cinema, he'd offered me a space at Romford Shopping Mall, and it was literally the back rooms, two back kind of storerooms really, which like shops would hire or rent out for their stock. And he said somebody's used them for sets. There are sets in there, like the I don't know MDF like rooms are built, and you can use them, you can change them, they're done. And then I think after that, they were literally emptying the room because the rooms were going to be rented out. So I'd been offered these rooms, I've been offered these sets, but I needed to build an opium den.
That's it. I remember well.
So I think the first thing was when I messaged you, and this is I think before, maybe before I had the room, but I was just kind of looking for props and things. And my eBay search history is just shocking. I was like, I need opium pipes. Where am I going to get
Yeah,
opium pipes? I was Googling opium pipes. Now, the only things I could find were like in the hundreds of pounds for, real kind of 100-year-old
yeah,
opium pipes. And I was thinking, well, I don't have that kind of budget for, for an opium pipe.
yeah,
What
yeah.
am I going to do with it afterwards? Um, and then I was on eBay and I was looking on eBay, just, I don't know, like even a pipe that looked kind of decadent enough to
Yeah.
kind of fit the time period. So I mean the
Yeah.
film wasn't necessarily set in a time period. Dragon was set now, but the opium den is meant to be a little bit kind of a weird world. It was very much a kind of a trippy kind of opium dream scene. And you concocted me some opium pipes. That was, I think, the
I
first.
did. Yeah, I haven't. I don't know if I can get it in shot.
Oh,
There's,
that's one of them. So
yeah,
what did you use? Because I,
well,
the other thing I love about it is you tend to use a lot of stuff that is
yeah,
going into landfill.
yeah. I mean, the wooden shaft bit, if I can sort of get that in, is basically just a sort of a broom handle,
Hmm.
and then I just had some sort of like regular old like tins and things that I just sort of just sort of screwed them together and sort of weathered them and painted them up. And I did also look on Bing Images to see what the pipes were like.
Right.
So my search history was a bit dodgy as well. And I think I've still got all of them up
You
in the
still got all
loft.
of them because you never
Yeah,
know when you're going to do another film.
no,
Someone's going to say, "I need an opium pipe," and then you get the kind of IMDb, like the trivia on each film. Like, well, this pipe was also used in Dragon, and it was used in
yeah,
kind of future film. Maybe I'll write something else where there's an opium scene. It's unlikely because it's not really the kind of thing I'd write about in it. I don't know how the
no,
idea for that really came. I think it was because the whole chasing the dragon thing, which I don't know if that's even opium.
yes.
That's something I don't really know about stuff
I
like that.
no, yeah. To be
But
honest, not. I'm
also.
not.
No, exactly. But I wanted like a dragon egg. I wanted an egg to be in there. So actually Alex Gent made the egg for me
Yeah,
and he made some kind of smaller eggs. And I think I brought him on board for kind of a little bit of that before you
yeah,
came on board. Um, but yeah, so it's kind of a combination of the two ideas
yeah.
there really. So yeah, I don't know when I'd
And then I helped with the set, didn't I, as well? extras, building the
Yeah,
little
like there's
opening
no,
den.
I didn't have a clue what to do. So I mean, the film's been screened now, so we actually can talk about it. So unlike your
Yeah,
Falcon piece, which is be super top secret, I have
yeah,
actually asked Mike and Lou to come on the show, but they did say that they're kind of undressing sets and doing all sorts the next few
yeah,
weeks. So hopefully
yeah,
we'll get them on in a few weeks' time, which would be quite good actually, because then I can ask them stuff and they
yeah.
can say what they are allowed to say. Um, but
Yeah, I'm trying to be really careful when I talk about it. I don't
yeah,
say anything because
yeah, no, it's true.
obviously I don't want to upset anybody.
No, no, it's fine. But obviously, Dragon's been screened, so it's been screened
Yeah,
both Horror-on-Sea and at Romford, so we're allowed to talk about it now. And
yeah,
so I had these two rooms, and originally I was looking around for a kind of a cafe or like a quirky bar that had, like the Moroccan style vibes. I
yeah,
was going to make it like this kind of, I don't know, weird. I thought we could light it if I could find somewhere that would let me use it. And then Spencer obviously offered me these rooms and these two rooms next door to each other. So I needed one bit to look like that, and I needed one room to look really burnt
yeah,
up after everything happens. The dragons kind of basically scorched the whole space. And it was so much easier, I think, having the spaces to decorate yourself.
yeah.
Because obviously we can't scorch up somebody's cocktail bar or cafe.
No, 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 no. That was a fun. I think it was a Saturday. I think we did it in one, just all on a
I
Saturday,
think
didn't
we
we?
pretty much did it in one day. Oh, do you know, my stuff's going to start wobbling now because the cat have been
Oh,
good all day. No, they've been good all day. They've been asleep all day. And when I'm doing
yeah,
something, I was just finishing up the bit of work I was doing before this, and this one, she'll come here now. She starts pestering me, and I've been to the kitchen, and she's got food. So she's telling me to feed
right.
her, but she's got food. So now she's here just to bug me. So
That's right. Well, I've shut the door because our cat will come in to see what's going on as
yeah, I
well.
mean,
So I've shut the door. I've managed to hijack my daughter's bedroom now. She's not here. So
is she off to college?
we took her back to university yesterday. So
Amazing.
and I thought I wanted to get some stuff down from the loft. I'll just shove it on there. So that's all on the corner of her bed over there.
So I've noticed we've got something similar. So this is
Yes,
Simon original.
yeah, it is. Yeah,
And
it's
it's
still
my
up on the wall then.
yeah, it's on the wall and it's stuck there perfectly actually.
Yeah,
And I feel like because I've done a few podcasts on this space. Obviously, I only moved in last year, starting the podcast this year, and this was just a white wall, and I kind of wanted to build it up with stuff to make it kind
yeah.
of look a bit more like a set, really. And so that was the first piece that you'd created a Miss Danny T's one for the video shop installation
I
for
I did. Yes, yeah. I think they've still got that. Yeah,
I've still got it, and it was a
yeah,
horror scene. And I was like, and I think Lala sent me a picture of it, and I was like, it's not every day somebody sends you a picture of your grave.
yeah, yeah. No,
And
no.
everybody has really laughed at the two skulls. Like everybody knows
Yeah,
where you're going with that. But I was like, no, that's really funny. And then I was like, I want one. And then you kindly offered to make
yeah.
one. And then you got COVID and you couldn't come to Romford.
No, no. That was about the third time I'd had it as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
So,
So
but no, because I was going to bring that with me
you
and
were.
give it to you, but it was all right. It went in the post. I was just
Yeah.
worried that the skulls might get knocked off, but
Yeah,
I
no,
think
they were fine. It
they,
was well wrapped. And I
yeah,
went to collect it from did they ask you? You know, when you post something, the post office
yeah.
ask you, don't they, what's inside? Did they ask you?
No, no, he didn't say a word. The chap. He just I said, I just want to send this, please, and he went, oh, what do you want to do it? First class, second
They
class.
always ask me
And that
what's
was
in
it.
it, and I'm like, none of your business. Like, do I look like I'm smuggling or something? I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe I have that face.
You
Um,
can say my own personal headstone. That's what
yeah,
you should have said.
yeah. Well, I was collecting, but even when I was saying like I'll eBay often like old scripts and things because
Yeah,
I accumulate things and I don't have the space. Like this is the studio, so this is basically that side of the room is a photo studio. This side is my like podcast bit. That like to the right of me I've got boxes upon boxes and boxes of costume and accessories and stuff. And so it's like all my old film scripts and things, like I just don't have anywhere to keep them. And it's
yeah,
nice, obviously, to have them. But after a while, if I did one or two films, I'd say, it's nice to have the script from memory. But after a while, it's like, well, I've got 50 scripts in a pile. Like, what am I
yeah,
going to do with that? So I eBay them to people that might get more joy out of them because
yeah.
I guarantee I'd probably never look inside them again.
I think I've still
And they
in the
always ask,
loft.
no,
I
they
think I've
always
still
ask.
got Dragon script.
Have you still got the dragon's nose? See, mine's
Yeah,
gone. Mine went along with I had the latex pieces that went on my face.
yeah, I
at the
remember that.
end where
Yeah,
I had like the dragon kind of scales, and I peeled them off carefully, stuck them in the script, and then put
yeah,
them together.
yeah. I'm a bit of a hoarder, so I've got a lot of things that if I've made things for people, it all goes up in the loft. But there does come a point that I do have to just get rid of it because there's just far too much of it. So I've got because the musical group that I'm doing the Shrek for, I did some Adams Family stuff for them, and last year they did Kips like the half a sixpence.
Right.
So I made 22 banjos
You
for
can't
them, and
really
I've
keep 22 banjos.
no, I managed to give some to the cast, but I have got about 10 banjos up in the loft.
Okay. So basically,
Um,
Video Shop 3 needs to write something with
yeah,
banjos.
yeah, with deadly banjos. Yeah, I mean some banjos just go to the tip, I say, because it gets to a point I can't put anything else up there.
Yeah.
So all this was up in the loft behind me,
What have
and
you
some
got
of it's.
there? I can see,
So I mean,
you've got some
I don't know,
graves, you've got aliens. Oh, I like
yeah,
those like tiki sticks.
yes, but they were made for. I made them for. My wife runs an alternative sort of gothic market.
Right.
So we were doing a Halloween one last year, and they were made to sort of like stand around by the entrance.
They're really
Um,
cool.
but they didn't. Only a few of them managed to get used because it was a bit of a job trying to find somewhere to support them.
Right. Are they like
So
skewers that you stick in the floor?
yeah, they're on like canes, and the skulls are made out of milk cartons, and they're like indoor
Is
candles
that what
inside
these are
them.
made from?
So
Are these milk carton skulls?
yes,
That's so cool.
yes.
How do you mold them?
Well, I've got like a sort of like a proper plastic rigid skull, and
Right.
then you just cut the milk carton up, and then you put it over that skull, and then with a heat gun you just gently melt it over the form,
That's
and then with a
amazing.
bit of sort of a damp cloth just keep patting it down, and as it cools it goes
Right.
rigid. So I think there's about 15, 20 milk carton skulls up there. It only takes about 10 minutes to do one, to do one skull.
That's amazing. So there's this there's a like a restauranty bar thing in like so I live in South Tyneside, North Tyneside. I can't think what it's called, but there's a whole wall covered in gold skulls. It's very, very
Right.
Instagrammable. But I'm sure they must have bought like you know all
Yeah.
these skulls and sprayed them gold, whereas like they could have got you along and
Yeah, yeah.
all
You
made of
can't
gold.
always get like a perfect sort of shape. That like the top bit goes a bit funny because it's like the bottom of the carton. But to be honest, when I'm sort of like covering it with something, or they're just for like scenes, background scenes, and they're just in like a dark corner, and then once they've been weathered up and painted up, that they're fine. I made 115 for Charlie Bond and
Right.
James. They run an escape room in Reading,
Hmm.
and one of the rooms had to be like a catacomb. So I ended up having to make 115 of them.
That's amazing. Did you
So,
get fed up halfway through? You're like, not another skull, or do you love them?
well, I haven't made some for a little while now because, to be honest, it's a bit. I had some sort of spares, and I'm thinking that'll do. But I mean, it's enjoyable to do. But
Yeah.
no, after you've done 115,
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Got to
no.
do
So
something different. You're like, this is like mowing
yeah,
the lawn.
yes, yeah, yeah. So no, so they're fixed to the wall like a catacomb thing in like a fake cave area in one of the rooms in their escape room. So, and Charlie's always wanted for some bizarre reason, she's always wanted a wall full of skulls.
Why would you not?
Yeah, well, I suppose so. Yeah, yeah. So she was over the moon, and I said, well, I think I can do that.
Yeah,
So I always just accept a challenge, and then I have to go away and think,
work
now,
it
can
out.
I do that? Or I'm not sure if I can, or I'll have a go.
Amazing. So I never would have thought that was made from, I'd never thought those were made from milk cartons. I didn't know how you'd done it, but I do know that you, part of what you do is trying to stop things going into landfill and using things that are rubbish in creating
Yeah,
something that can be used, which I think is really great. It's really good for the environment. It's kind of, a bit more
yeah.
sustainable than creating loads of polystyrene skulls or, plastic skulls out of something else.
Yeah, I mean my sort of workshop and the side of my workshop is covered in what I call materials, but my wife calls crap, to be honest. Um, but I see things and I just sort of keep them and collect them because I just think you never know what that someone might ask me for something, and then I think actually I've got a bit that I might be able to use there.
Do you have it
So
all catalogued? Do you know, like, like when people live in like a mess, basically, but
yeah,
where there's loads of stuff, but you know where everything is.
yeah.
Is it catalogued in your
Oh yeah,
brain, or
no,
do you
that,
actually have it like,
oh no, that's how it is. It's all sort of like on top of it. If I move something and tidy up, there's a few times I've tidied up the workshop and then I can't find something.
yeah.
So it's best to just leave it as it is. And I know that the bit I'm looking for is under a pile of stuff over there in the corner.
Did
That's how
you did you used to watch Blue Peter? Were you a big Blue Peter fan growing up?
I was, yeah, I did,
And
yeah.
did you often make the things where they're like, you need a, did you make Tracy Island?
I didn't make Tracy Island, but I can go back to when they made it was a sledge for Action Man
Right.
out of lollipop sticks.
Okay.
So I had a go at making the lollipop stick sledge. I mean, it wasn't quite as good. I think I was only about 8, so it wasn't as good as that. So, but no, I'd always, when I was like younger, just like make things, get cardboard box. I'd go around to our local shop and ask for the cardboard boxes
Mm.
and try to make my own. They had this huge cardboard box. I was about 10 and I was trying to make my own TARDIS
All
that I
right.
could
Well,
just
why
get
not?
in. Yeah. So yeah, I was always doing that, drawing, painting, just making things. So this sort of the indie film business has now taken it to a bit of a different level because
Yeah.
the stuff I was doing was just like I was doing it for hobby and it was just up in the loft. No one ever saw it, but now hopefully people have seen the stuff I'm doing and it's quite nice to sort of see it on film.
Yeah. So I think obviously you found me through Charlie and James.
Yes.
Um, so Charlie Bond and James Hayward Morton, who was Peltzer in Banjo, and I've had Liam on here from Banjo, and I've had Pat from How I Taught Cheerleaders, and Charlie was
Yeah.
the producer, and she was like the lead in that. With James was also in it. So I'm sure I'll have them on here at some point.
Yeah.
And then you came along, and you did Dragon, but tell me about what you've been up to since then.
Oh blimey. So I did I then I think after we did Dragon, I met Alex on the Dragon set.
Yes, because he came and
Um,
did sound for
he
me.
was
This is
doing the
it's
sound.
such a weird
Yes,
little
that's it.
industry. Everyone helps everybody else, and he is not, he's not a boom operator generally. He's a director,
No,
or he'll do cameras. But I needed somebody, and he came along and saved the day.
yeah, that's what he said. He said he doesn't usually do sound, but
So,
so I was talking to him, and he said he had some. I think it was projects coming up. So I think we went and we built the Studio 69 set
right.
for the Video Shop Tales of Terror 2, Lust and Revenge.
Yeah.
I think it's in there.
Mm.
So me and my brother went and we built the set. I built all the consoles, and it had to be like a sort of a cheesy porn
Yeah,
set.
it's like a 70s porn set
Yeah,
in space, or
yeah,
maybe
that
not,
was
I'm not
yeah,
sure, in a spaceship or something. I've seen
yeah,
it twice, but
set in a spaceship, but it was a film meant to be a film set within a film set, if you
yeah,
know. Yeah.
yeah,
So and that was really difficult because when I'm building anything, I try to if I'm building I've built a space set before, and it had to be sort of like perfect,
mm,
whereas this had to be all sort of cheesy and rubbish looking, so you could still tell that something was a milk bottle top
right,
and stuff like that.
yeah.
Um, so no, we built that, and I had to build all the sort of the male organ shaped controls and all that
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
thing.
there's some interesting stuff in
Yeah,
that film. I'd actually been in the studio um to finish my bit for Video Shop, and that was there, and they almost had me in a scene which we ran out of time for, and I think somebody else did it, where I my character had to give birth to somebody and like in the past.
right.
And I was like, and I saw this mask which was like a giant lady part. I was like, please tell me that's nothing
Yeah,
to do with that scene. And they were like, no, it's not. And I was like, thank God.
yeah.
And it was one of the alien head masks from
Yeah. No, I saw those, and Charlie sent me a picture of those, and I thought, blimey, that's a bit extraordinary. I've
yeah,
not seen
that is
aliens
the
like
word for
that.
it.
Yeah, yeah. So no, that was good fun building that set, and that's to be honest, and my brother really enjoyed it as well. So because I've built a few sets before when I did a bit of Amdram, but it was mostly like sort of to the manor born type country
Yeah, not
estates.
really an alien porno.
No, that's it. Yeah, and it was like they always consisted of like the same fireplace, but just a different picture hanging above it, and
Right.
you'd have one nice posh chair, and one
Yeah.
one show would be on the left side of the stage, the next time it'd be on the right side. So um, yeah, so that was a bit different, but it was fun. It was a fun build.
Mm.
So I've done that. I've not seen it yet, though. I have to be
Oh,
honest,
because you will.
because
Yeah.
because it was going to be screened at Romford Sound. I got COVID, so I didn't get to see it.
Well, it's
So
screening again at where's it screening? Southend Film Festival. So obviously it's
yes,
screened at Southend Horror on Sea Film Festival, and they don't usually show horror at Southend Film Festival, but they have chosen to screen it on, I believe, the 7th of June.
right. Okay, I'll make a note of that then, because
So
it'd be nice to actually see something. I've only ever
yeah,
seen one thing.
Alex did send out a message. So I'm sure if you message him, he can put you on the
Yeah,
list.
yeah. Okay, yeah. I have to do that. Yeah, because I've only ever seen one thing that I built years ago for an independent film. It was called A Sober Dance, and it
Right.
was a company called Full Metal Package,
Hmm.
and we had to build this apocalypse beacon that had to work inside about a mile inside a disused train tunnel,
Right.
and that's the only thing of mine I've actually seen, and it was on screen for 15 seconds,
Oh.
but
Have
at
you
least
ever
I
seen
saw it.
Dragon yet? Did I ever send you a link to Dragon?
No, I haven't seen that
Oh,
yet.
I'll send you a link. I've got a
All
secret
right,
link on YouTube that I can send to you, and then you can watch
all
it.
right, okay.
I'll
Because
send.
I've never seen the end scene where
Ah, the end scene's
yeah.
great.
So I've
I
not seen what that room looks like.
didn't realize I hadn't sent it to you. Sorry. I feel like
Yeah, right.
everyone else has seen it.
Yeah, no, that's all right. That's fine. That's
I'll
fine.
send it
So,
over. You can,
that's
you
right.
can.
That'd be cool.
Great Easter viewing. It's got an egg in it,
Yes, well, yeah, exactly.
so you know.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I think, what else have I done? I've worked for Raya Films, um, beginning of this year, back end of last year, and beginning of this year.
Right.
James Smith and Caroline Spence. I don't know
Yeah.
if you know.
Yeah.
That's right. I need to drop my phone then. um, yeah, so I've done some stuff, but again, I can't really say too much about what I've done there.
Yeah. Yeah. When things haven't been screened anyway yet, you have to
Yeah,
be top secret.
that's it. But again, that was fun, because that was converting a room into one scene, and then we had to go back, change the scene completely to the room completely to a different scene.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I was I just find it really sort of a nice challenge to sort of create these little worlds that don't exist.
Yeah.
Um, and then again, I was just like trawling around charity shops and that, trying to find bits that I can use and I might be able to adapt for the certain scenes. So, but some of the stuff I had, there was I can probably say that there was a room that was just full of junk. So I
Right.
basically just packed up my workshop and took that up in the car and just dotted that about. So I've never driven along the M25 so much in about the last 9 months.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have
because I
to be
suppose
honest.
you're based west of London, aren't you? And then if you're
Yeah,
coming to
yeah, I'm Reading, so it's
yeah.
M4, M25. But I actually, touch wood, I've never had any issues with the M25. We've never been delayed, never had spent hours in
Don't
queues or
say
anything.
that, you'll jinx yourself.
Yeah, yeah, I probably will now.
You'll
Yeah, I
jinx
think I've done
yourself.
it.
Do you ever
Yeah, I've done
get
it.
funny looks in the car? Have you ever had like weird, obviously skulls and things in the car? Do you ever kind of pull up next to somebody and they look at you funny? Because I've had many moments where I've either left a set where I'm covered in blood because there haven't been showers, or maybe there
Right.
have been showers, but it's going to be easier just to do it at home.
Yeah, hello.
And or I've got a skeleton. And if you're going up in the window, letting the light in. Um, I've had my skeleton strapped in the passenger seat, and I've had some looks then as well.
Right.
Never usually in October. In October, people expect it, but this could be like, I don't know, May,
Yeah.
and there's a skeleton driving
No.
around me.
Yeah. Well, it's like going back to the Michael Fausti thing. I really wish I could say what we had in the back of the car that lorry drivers would have been looking down on, going, "What the hell is that?" But I can't say it. So I had to put the back seats down, and there was all the stuff, and then there was this one particular prop we made for that shoot a couple of weeks ago, laying down in the back of the car, which would have got from lorry drivers would have
Some
had a
strange
few.
bits. I'm
Yeah,
intrigued. I'm looking forward to seeing this.
yeah, yeah. No,
Well, we're almost running out of time for part one, so I'm
okay,
going to let you have a short break and I will see
Yeah.
you shortly. Welcome back to the Screen Princess podcast. Welcome back for part two of the Screen Princess podcast. It's actually nice having that short break. What did you do in your break?
I went down and I said, "Is dinner ready yet?"
And then
And
did you
it
have to
is.
eat it very quickly?
Yeah, no, no, they're waiting for me, so that's right.
Oh, I actually went and made a piece of rye toast with some vegan smoked salmon on it. I was like, that's going to be my dinner. I'm hungry.
Right, what now? Well, we're having a don't hate me. We're having a lamb roast. So
Well, it is Easter. I was going to do, I've got a, so Asda do a really good mushroom Wellington, and they used to only bring it out at Christmas, and they've kept it this year. So I've actually got one of those in the fridge. And I did say, do you want a roast tonight? Because it's Sunday, and not just
yeah,
because it's Easter, but it's Sunday, or tomorrow because he's off tomorrow. So we're going to do it tomorrow instead.
right, yeah. No, my wife's vegetarian, so it's the meat's just for me and my boy.
Uh, does she not mind cooking it?
No, because I sort of got it ready, so she just
Right,
had to look after it. She doesn't mind sort of cooking meat if I've started it off, but if
right.
she's got to get it out of the packet,
You
that's a
don't want,
big no.
yeah, no.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
understandable. Yeah, I mean he's not vegan, but he pretty much eats vegan when he's here, and then when
right,
he's out and stuff, he doesn't. So, you know.
yeah. I mean, I eat vegetarian, and I've even eaten vegetarian when we've gone out. But
Mm,
no, if I can, I've always been a meat lover.
yeah. She's back again.
So
This is the
yeah,
this is magic. She's actually the greediest cat I've ever met
right.
in my
We
life.
haven't met ours yet.
But she's doing this to get my attention. This is like feed me. And in the morning, so in bed, I've got this big elephant ear, I don't know what it is, plant, and she'll just come and do this. But she doesn't do it any other time of day. It's just to get me up because she knows it'll annoy me. And I've got some fairy lights above the bed as well. She'll kind of ding them, and it's just to
Yeah.
get me to go and feed her.
Oh, 5:30. Our cat sits
Yeah.
outside on the landing and meows.
Yeah,
And
I don't sleep past like half past five is a lion. Like
yeah,
sometimes it'll be 4:30, and I'm like, no, you are not getting fed at 4:30. This is
yeah.
ridiculous. 5:30, I'll give in because I think, oh well, I was going to get up at 6 anyway, so
Um,
half past five.
our other cat used to come in and used to sort of get in between us, and about 5 o'clock would tap our faces.
See, I'm the only one who gets bothered. So he gets his whole side of the bed, and then there's me on my side of the bed, and the girl one she sleeps like so. This one, Magic, she sleeps like, but like either at my feet, either between my legs, and then I'm kind of stuck. And the boy one sleeps right next to me, midnight. So he sleeps
Right.
here. So I'm kind of sandwiched in with the two cats, and then I'm the one who gets bugged as well. So I'm the one they want to wake up and do things for them.
Yeah, no, no, because we always get up about 6 o'clock because Lucy just won't let you. She won't settle. So
Right.
you literally have to get up, feed her, even if you want to have a lay in. So like tomorrow, we'll get up, feed her, and probably just come back to bed again
Yeah.
or try.
Well, this morning he was like, I can hear a hairball. And I was like, well, I feel like it's your turn. I've got breakfast to make.
Funny enough, our son says that. He goes, "Oh, the cat's very noisy early in the mornings," and you sort of think, "You didn't want to get up and feed her then?"
Yeah. No, he does. He'll get up on his days off. Or like I give him that look, I think, where it's like, you better get up because I always do this.
Yeah,
I don't mind at the moment where it's kind of light in the mornings. I'm all for getting
yeah.
up. Like I really like getting up early and doing stuff. But in the winter, especially up north where it's freezing, like mornings are not your friend. Like mornings
No, no, I can
are horrific
imagine.
up
Yeah,
here. I feel like we're like
yeah,
10 degrees colder or so. It's probably not 10 degrees. It feels like it though.
yeah.
It's
Are you near the coast as well, though?
yeah, yeah, right near. So
Yeah, so you're going to get
cold, it's
any
often
north.
misty. I mean, I like
Yeah,
it, but not in the morning when I'm warm in bed. I'm like,
no. It's ideal for someone who's into horror films and gothic
it
stuff, though,
is,
isn't
and
it?
there's a graveyard at
That's
the
what.
end of my road as well, which is great.
Oh, blimey,
Yeah,
that's
I was
really.
like, if only I could have had one of the houses on the end that kind of overlooks the graveyard. That would have been my ideal, but no. But
Yeah. All right. So
and also, I
some
did
people.
think like my walk to the beach, I have to walk past the graveyard, and it's basically walk down to the end of my road, past the graveyard, and then just past a field or like a playing field, and then I'm on the beach. But I did used to think when I like before I moved in, I thought, well, maybe I can cut through the graveyard, and that's can you imagine that being my walk?
Yeah.
Like I walk through the graveyard and I end up at the beach, but there's only a gate at one end of the graveyard. So I tried it once and I walked in, and then I ended up just doing a lap of the graveyard because there's not a gate on four
You can't
corners,
do it.
just like one
Oh,
one side.
can you just hop over the fence?
Well, I might skewer myself. So
Well, yeah, okay, yeah.
I'm,
Oh well,
I'm, you know, I'm good at climbing fences on a hike, like a country fence, but
yeah.
not like a metal railing,
Railings.
fence
Yeah,
with the, so
no,
no.
I can
I mean,
understand.
I suppose it's to d deter people from using it as a cut through, but
Yeah,
I think graveyards are a nice walk, and I think because obviously in London you've got the Magnificent Seven, where there were graveyards that were built kind of away from churchyards, and
yeah.
I mean, I know Victorians used to go for picnics in graveyards and things, didn't they? And
Oh, blimey.
I feel like they're peaceful places. I feel like they're
Yeah,
peaceful. A lot of the London ones now are nature reserves. So the one that was near me, Tower Hamlets, Cemetery Park, that is actually a nature reserve now. No one gets buried there anymore. It's just a nature reserve. So they've got some really
yeah.
interesting flowers and interesting plants, and it was a really, really peaceful walk. I used to take my dog there for walks all the time. And I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe not everybody likes a graveyard stroll. Maybe that's just my
Well,
thing.
well, I'm a big Frankenstein fan.
Right.
So Emily is down at university in Bournemouth, and we went to the first time we were down there, we went to like a Weatherspoons pub, and it's called Frankenstein's,
Ah,
and I said, no, sorry, it's called the Mary Shelley.
right.
And I said to Emily, and I said, why is that? Why is this Weatherspoons called the Mary Shelley? And she said, because that cemetery over the road there, that's where she's buried.
No
So
way.
so we had our meal, and I was off over there, and we found the Shelley family tomb,
Oh,
and it's
that's
got her name on
incredible.
there. So I took this photograph on it, but there were loads of people coming up and taking, it was almost like a little queue, people taking
Yeah.
photographs of this
I feel
tomb.
like I now need to go to Bournemouth. It's on
Yeah,
my
well,
list.
if you can find the Mary Shelley Weatherspoons pub, there's the church and the cemetery is next to it over the side of the road.
Right.
And if you just sort of go up in, you can't miss it. It's a big, big, big sort of tomb, flat
Wow.
tomb sort of thing, not one that you have to go into. And it's got all the Shelley family there, and then you can see her name is just there. So I
Have
had to take a
you
picture of it.
have you ever been to Whitstable?
No, no.
Because the Wetherspoons there is called Peter Cushing.
Oh, really? Oh, blimey.
Because Peter Cushing retired in Whitstable. And I did some filming there with Tony Martin actually for Witches of the Sands. And I took my friend came along with me, and we on like the next day we went on a little tour of Whitstable. So we went to his favorite coffee shop, which I think it's the Tudor something, and then went to the Weatherspoons, the Peter Cushing, and it's got a lot of his memorabilia, like scripts and
Yeah,
letters and bits and pieces. It's very, old film cameras and all that
yeah.
kind of thing. And then we wandered along the seafront and found his house, which has got the blue plaque.
Oh, right. Oh,
Obviously,
cool.
he
Oh, no,
was
I'd have to do that.
Baron Frankenstein. It's Baron,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
doctor. Yeah, yeah, Baron Doctor.
Docked.
Yeah,
Yeah. So what's your
Doc-
like? Where was your like? How did you get into Frankenstein? Was it from the book or was it from one of the films?
Um, it's well, the thing is, I like all that idea of sort of sewing people together, bringing people back to life, and stuff like that. Because I was a massive Doctor Who fan growing up, so one of the sort of the creatures on there were like the Cybermen, and I love all that story about how they came about. Um, and the way I got into all this sort of prop and set building was someone asked me to build an apocalyptic abandoned sort of mutant lab sort of
Right.
thing at a music festival. So we had these mannequins, and they were meant to be sort of like being experiments. So we had these mannequins, and we added different arms to them and covered them in latex and stuff like that. So yeah, I've always been into that sort of the idea of trying to bring someone back or creating a new life by
Right.
using other parts. So, and then obviously I've read the book, and I've got a big old collection of Frankenstein stuff in my side of the bedroom, shelves and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And I've got all the DVDs, the Boris Karloff films, and some of the films that he wasn't in, which aren't as good.
Right.
Um, and I'm waiting to see the one that's coming on Netflix.
Is there one? I
Um,
don't know.
Yeah, I can never pronounce the director's name. It's the Del Toro
Oh,
chap.
Guillermo del Toro.
Uh, Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So he's done a version which is on Netflix.
Oh,
So,
that'll
or
be
coming
interesting.
coming
We've actually been
soon.
watching them recently. So I've got a Hammer box set and I've got the Universal box set, but I never
Yeah,
grew up watching all of these films. So I love horror and I love like, but I kind of got into it in the 90s. So I'm kind of going back now. Like my boyfriend's really into all of the like the old horror. Like he grew up watching the classics and stuff. And so we've been
yeah,
making our way through. So I have seen now the Frankenstein with Boris Karloff. And
yeah,
we've been watching the Hammer box set. So there's a couple of Frankenstein ones in there, I think. So
yeah. We've recorded quite a few of the Hammers because they're on Legend TV. So
Frankenstein
we sort of,
Created Woman. I think we've just watched that
yeah,
one,
yeah,
which I think I don't think he was obviously as keen on that one, but I really liked it. I thought it was
yeah. From Frankenstein and then the second one with Boris Karloff. When Boris Karloff's not in them,
mm,
they tend not to be as good. I think
yeah,
they've sort of just trying to carry them on for the sake of carrying them
yeah.
on.
It's like what can we do
To be
now?
honest,
There's an episode of Buffy actually, that's one of the characters. I don't know if you're ever a Buffy fan, but one of the characters is killed. And the brother and his friend bring him back. He was like an all-star football player for the school and stuff. And I
right?
think it was a car crash or something. And anyway, they bring him back, and then they're trying to create a girl to be like his because he's
Right.
lonely.
Yeah.
So that was actually one of my favorite Buffy episodes. So that's
Like the
kind of
bride
along
of,
those lines of, Frankenstein.
yeah, yeah. No, no. I don't know what because Louise is really into sort of Dracula. She loves all that.
Yeah.
Frank Langella is her Dracula.
Okay.
And it's just Frankenstein for me, and it always has been. I don't know where it sort of come from.
I think I'm
But
more into vampires. Not necessarily Dracula, but again, we've been watching the old Draculas, but I've always
yeah,
loved vampires.
I mean, I'm sort of into any horror films really. Because I think the first one I watched, I think I was probably 11 or so. It was like Nightmare on Elm Street, and then couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
Um, and every time I did sleep, I woke up and was thinking, "Am I actually awake?" No, I'm hope I'm awake, sort of thing. But when I lived at home, we were young. We were one of the sort of first roads to have sort of cable TV,
Right.
and me and my brother used to stay up late and watch, and there was no sort of like security protection or anything like that.
Right.
And we used to stay up late and watch all these 18 horror films that you would have to be 18 to get from the video
Yeah.
shop. So that's where I sort of got into horror films. Some of them we shouldn't have really been watching, um, but I'm sort of Frankenstein's the classic one, but I'll go for any sort of modern horror character, to be honest.
Yeah. There's
Jason,
another bar
Hellraiser.
actually in Edinburgh called the Frankenstein. Have you been to Edinburgh to the Frankenstein bar?
I've not been to the bar. We've been to Edinburgh a few times, and we do want to go that so I can go
Yeah,
in
it's
there.
on my list. Like every time I go, we always end up like we've eaten or something somewhere else, and then it's kind of late. And so when we were living in Scotland briefly, we'd have to get like the train back. So it was like an hour. Where I was in Scotland, there's like an hour for the train. So I was in Scotland briefly before I settled here, and so you often just pop to Edinburgh for the day, but not really for the night. So like going
Yeah,
to the bar is more like an evening thing. But I think next time we go, now they're a bit further away, we might just kind of go and get a hotel and have a couple of days there.
yeah, yeah. No, I've seen it. I've seen images of
Mm,
it and videos on YouTube and that. It's
yeah.
somewhere we want to sort of go and check
I
it
think
out.
they
Just
do pizza. I think they do vegan pizza. So I was like, well, I can eat here.
yeah,
We walked in and I had a quick look on the menu and we were like, right, next time we'll do this because it's I think it's not far from the is it Greyfriars Bobby statue? I think
yeah,
it's not too far from there.
yeah,
And I know it's kind of like the other part of the town. So
yeah. We did one of the ghost walks when we
yeah.
were there the second time we were there. And we ended up you end up in a graveyard, and
Yeah, I've done that one.
yeah, and this person just comes running in and makes everybody jump, and you
Yeah,
sort of think,
there's
oh, was that just a con?
Yeah, maybe I didn't do that one. I didn't have that, but I did one where we went to. I don't know if I did one or two there. There was one where I'm sure we went to the graveyard where Greyfriars Bobby was, and I told you the story of that. And then there was a one tomb, and they said like the door or it's like a funny door or something. But then I also did something where you went in the vaults.
Yeah,
But I feel like it must have been the same tour. So that was a time I went to Edinburgh with a friend of mine, but we were only there for like one or two nights, and I'm sure we only did one tour. So I don't know whether it's the
yeah.
same tour that took you to both. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because my wife was reading something the other day, and they're opening up the lanes that are underneath that
Hmm.
were all locked up because um, they're meant to be super haunted, apparently,
Yeah.
um, because that's where all the sort of poor people died of the plague or something.
Yeah.
And
Because is that
they're,
like where the city was like built on top of a city? Because that's what I
yeah,
thought originally I'd heard of was that there was like an underground city. But then when I went,
yeah.
it was these like vaults, which wasn't quite what I was expecting. So I don't know.
No, because when we went, you can see the steps down, but they were locked gates,
Right. Okay.
and apparently they're opening them up for the first time in so many years. So you're
Oh,
going to be able to go down and walk through
oh,
the lanes.
oh, yeah, I definitely fancy that. I like anything a bit haunted. And I don't even necessarily believe in ghosts. Like I
Hello, can
want
you hear
to.
me?
No, I want to, but I just need them to prove that they're real for me and then kind of failing to do so so far. Oh, it's disappeared. Where's he gone? Connected to audio. I think there we go.
There we go.
Where's he
Yeah, back
gone?
again.
He
Yeah,
disappeared on me like a ghost. He
yeah,
vanished into
yeah.
thin air.
That's probably my son's PlayStation. I bet he's got so many PlayStations in his room. I said to him,
Right.
"I'm going to turn a few of them off just in case it interferes."
Oh, I'm not really good at technology. I don't know how stuff interferes.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, like I like the idea of going down into the haunted city.
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, you meant to the best time to do it is at night, apparently.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would have the same effect. Although I think, if I'm right, even if you went during the day, it's because it's on underneath.
Yeah, it'll still
You
be
are sort of
dark.
in the dark. Um, but I think it'd be better at night if you know
Yeah.
yourself that it's dark up top as well, sort of thing.
Yeah. In the winter when it's dark.
Yeah,
That's the only thing though. Scotland's very cold in the winter.
yeah,
So doing all of these like nighttime haunted experiences is great, but it's cold.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I can't remember when we went now. It was a good 3 or 4 years ago. Me and my wife went. Um, but the ghost tour we did, we saw the Greyfriars Bobby, and we ended up in a tomb. And then someone came in right at the end and just
Yeah.
shouted, and we all jumped. And they said, "Oh, the reason why we've done that because you've now released something into the air which could now bring ghosts out."
Mm.
And I sort of thought, okay, that's a good excuse, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
not sure if I'm on board with
no,
that.
no,
I
no,
think
we just
sometimes
thought,
it's scarier when you don't need something like that jumping out of you. It's the kind of
yeah.
ambience of being there and
There was the odd person that went, "Oh, I felt someone just touched me," but
oh, of
I don't
course,
know
there's
whether
always
they,
one, isn't there?
yeah, whether they actually did. I don't know.
Yeah, there's always one. So what have you got coming up? Have you got anything else coming up soon that you can talk about?
Um, Oh, now there's something else for Rare Films probably at the end of the year,
Oh,
but I've been speaking to Alex. Is it Ice Cream Beach? I
yes,
can never,
Tis
I
Films.
can never remember. Yeah, that's it. Tis Film. That's better. Say Tis Films. um,
I
I've
think
been
that's after
messaging
Team
him.
Ice Cream.
Right, right. So he's at the moment, but I spoke to him because me and my brother went to the Southend Horror on Sea Festival for the first time in January,
Mm.
and I was speaking to him there, and he said he was writing for some stuff end of the year. So I just messaged him and said, I don't know if I'm allowed to sort of say anything. So I said to him, what we were talking about, is that right? Or did I just dream that? And he said, no, that is the idea I've got.
Right.
And I said, I was just, we're going to I've got some stuff to take to the tip. I'll just keep an eye out for bits that I might want to use. So
Yeah.
there's a project coming up for him which
Okay.
involves the video shop, and I'm not really going to say anything else in case we get told off.
Oh, that's
So
exciting.
yeah, so I've started to think about that now. So because I just sort of like if I'm out and about and I see random bits, I can be a bit of a skip diver, to be
Mm.
honest. If I see people throw something away, which I think, well, I can use that.
Yeah.
Uh, it's better to sort of like walk around, collect stuff, then sort of like later on when someone says, about building something, and I go, oh, a few months ago I saw something I could have used.
Your
But
wife must be very patient because I can imagine you just bringing things home and she's like, what have you got now?
oh, she does. Oh, yeah, she does. She does. When we went to build this apocalyptic lab about 3 years ago, we came back with spare mannequins. So I've got about 7 or 8 mannequins in the garden, which I
I've
had to
got some
hide
mannequin
behind.
legs in the loft.
Oh yeah, have you?
So yeah, yeah, I did a film on a mannequin farm, and we
Oh
came
yeah.
home with bits of mannequin as like a. I mean, it's quite a big souvenir from the film set, and it takes up a lot of space. It's in the loft, but I painted them up like the witch's legs from the Wizard of Oz.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I've got I've got there's a couple of children mannequins which are a bit odd. So I
Mm.
don't. There's a couple of female mannequins, and then there's the odd mannequin arm and head. I've got actually got a loft full of dummies, mannequin dummy heads,
Right.
which
Well, see, I
might
think
come
they'd be
in handy.
handy for storing wigs on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I look at them and think I want to turn them into android heads at some point.
Yes, that would be cool.
So because it was a local sort of shop near us that did sort of party stuff called
Yeah.
Fun and Frolics, and they were shutting down. And my brother used to go in there quite a bit, and they just said to him, "said See all the mannequin heads over there, which is what they put their horror masks on
Right.
to display them." They said, do you any good to you?" Because they knew what we did.
Mm.
And he said, "Well, yeah." He said, "How much do you want for them?" And they said, "Well, give us a tenner. There's a box there. It's got about 20 in."
Oh
They just had
wow.
to get rid of them. So,
Yeah.
so he's got some, and I've got a lot full of heads as well.
How long's your brother? Is your brother working doing this now just with you, or was he already doing this as well?
No, he was a gardener as well. So he
Right,
used to,
okay.
yeah, I used to employ him years and years ago, and then we sort of
Right.
went our own separate ways, and he went to work for someone else. Um, and he is still doing a bit of gardening, but he does come in to help me. But he also sort of doesn't want to do gardening anymore and wants to get more
Right.
into this because when we did the Fausti film about a week ago, he actually had a little part in it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did his first bit of acting.
Right.
He was
But he's
quite
got to be
chuffed.
a better assistant than me, because when we were painting that room, I was getting more paint on the carpets than I was on the
Yes,
floor. And we had to
I
have was it
remember. Yeah.
purple. We had this purple paint,
Yes, it
and
was.
the carpet was like a red carpet. We didn't want to see the carpet anyway, and it was being
No,
scrapped, but there was so much paint on the carpet.
I think if I remember rightly, we hid most of the paint that you'd spilt with the tables.
Yes, yeah, we
I
had to
think,
dress
if I
it.
remember
So
rightly.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So some of the staff from the mall, they brought us some tables and some cloth, and we kind of draped the cloth
yeah,
over. So it was really handy, and it actually looked really effective. So when I send you
yeah,
the film and you have a watch, it actually looks really good, especially with all the smoke and stuff in there.
yeah. I mean, I've got some of the stills. I think
Mm,
it was Camel done some stills
yeah,
photography, and there's some close up of the pipes. And I mean, I've always said to people that the props I make don't actually come alive until they're on film and someone
mm,
else has played around with them. And it's like some of the sets that I've done. It's not until the lighting goes in
yeah.
and they do their sort of bit of magic. My stuff's just there, and
No, it was
it's not
great. And then we
actually.
had the back room, which we had to have all burnt. And then I went to get the paint, didn't I? And I bought the wrong stuff, which was like, what did I buy? Like,
Yeah, it was shine. It was just to polish to shine up
yeah,
the
like
black
you
stuff.
send a girl to like know what she's doing in a DIY shop. No, I'm
I'm not
probably going to
going
get
there.
lynched for that comment. I didn't mean
And
it.
yeah, I'm not joining in that one.
Most women are probably much better than me at a DIY shop. Saying that, when I moved here, I must have gone like so. I'm not too far from a screw fix and a tool
Right.
station and a Wix. They're all next to each other, and I must have done like 100 trips. Like the
Yeah.
staff are like, "Oh, you're here again." I'm like, "Yes." But my friend was doing all the work, and I was just going to get the stuff. He'd be like, "This is what
Yes.
I need. Here's your list." Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm just gonna anything to do with women DIY. I'm just gonna pass over on that comment. I'm just.
I'm traditional.
I won't get
I
involved.
I'm a traditional one. Like I don't mind getting my hands dirty and getting involved, but I don't really know what I'm doing. But my boyfriend's picking up keys to a house next week, so we're going to be kind of between the two places.
Yeah.
And so I imagine I'm going to be getting my hands dirty again. I am actually
Yeah.
going away to do a film though, just after he gets a key, so maybe I'll swerve half of the decorating.
You'll miss a bit of it. Yeah. You'll just come back and do the
I
finishing
did that when I
touches.
moved here though. I moved in. Well, I got the keys. I didn't move in. I got the keys. And then I helped for like 2 days of stripping the wallpaper, and then I flew off to Texas to do a film, and I left my friend doing all of the work. And we had about a month in here though, because like we literally ripped everything out and started from
Yeah.
scratch. But
Well, the thing is, I don't really like decorating.
Do
I
you?
know that sounds weird when I like doing sort of set building, but I know that the set building's only temporary.
Right.
So I don't need to, when I say I don't need to be fussy, as in like all the rubbing down and stuff like that, that you
Yeah.
need to do at home,
Yeah.
because, and that's the bit I don't really like. So some people say to me, "So, well, how can you, if you like building sets and putting wallpaper up and doing that sort of thing, but you don't like doing it at home?" And you think, no, because then you have to fill the holes and you have to do all this,
Yeah.
take this, and no, that's
Yeah.
not for
We did a
me.
lot of hole filling. There's like, I think we went through one of the sanders actually broke and we had to get another one, and it was a lot. I still
Yeah,
not in it. I still keep finding things that I need to do. It's a forever thing, isn't it? But
oh God, yeah, yeah. Well, we're just thinking now doing. I think the kitchen, the dining room, our bedroom. It's just, yeah, say never ending.
and I'm
The
always
kid,
on Marketplace looking for like, and I've got no more room for any more furniture, but I'm always looking at like kind of the old G plan stuff on Marketplace. Like everything in my flat's like very like 60s, 70s.
yeah,
So I've got like a
yeah,
telephone table just here, which doesn't really need to be in here, but I was like, "Oh, I don't know where to put it." And it can be a set, it works as a set.
yeah,
And then I've just
yeah,
bought a record cabinet, but and I'll travel the country for it as well. So I bought the record cabinet in Saltburn. So I was like, well, we'll go
right,
and we'll climb Rosebery Topping, then we'll drive to Saltburn, and then it's like it's a day out. And that's how I
yeah,
convinced him that we have to drive around for furniture.
yeah. No, yeah. Louise is good at finding stuff on Marketplace. I really seem to struggle finding sort of free stuff, which is what
Oh,
I'm
I don't
trying to
find
do
free
all the
stuff. I
time.
have to pay for it, but I find stuff.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, I like regards to the props and that. If I can, I tend to
Ah,
just try and go for the free, because if I'm doing it for like the films, I'm just
yeah.
trying to keep the budget down a
Yeah,
bit
of
with the
course.
materials. Um,
Yeah. It'd be
but
lovely to work on a film where you had like a big budget. This is your budget for sets and for stuff, and then
yeah,
you just
well,
trawl
I'd like
places.
to. It'd be great one day if someone did just, even if someone just said to me, "Here's £300. Can you do
Yeah,
that?" I'd just see that as the challenge,
yeah. Like
to
I
try and
love
do a
doing
complete set.
costume. Like if I'm costuming something, then like going to charity shops and just finding stuff because obviously you don't
Yeah,
want to put a fortune on costume. You're probably going to get killed in. But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, great.
I'm just still. So we're just building another escape room for James and Charlie, and
Mm,
it's an alien themed one. Um, and it's 2 rooms, and
right.
one of the rooms is basically we've just built this sort of Nostromo sort of set.
Mm,
Um, and it's made basically anything I could find that was free, old computers,
yeah,
monitors, even plastic lids. Time you've painted it all up and weathered it and hidden it with cables, and
yeah,
James has put his lights in there. When it's just on with the red lights,
yeah.
it really really works. So um, because I follow Roger Christian on Instagram, and he was
Right.
a chap that was behind all the Star Wars
Mm,
stuff. So he built the lightsaber, um, and everything he built on Star Wars was just made out of junk.
right.
Old air, the Millennium Falcon's just made out of old jumbo jets and stuff
So
like
he's
that.
your inspiration.
He is, and I think I'd had a few beers one night, and I sat there and I just thought, I've got to do this build for James and Charlie, and he also worked on the Alien film,
Right.
and I just went, I'm going to message him, just see whether he gets back to me.
Hmm.
And I was really surprised. The following morning, I woke up to this long reply to the question I'd asked him, and he was giving me all this advice about what to use for the set build and how to paint it up and all this
Oh,
business.
that's
Um,
amazing.
I was like over the moon. I
Yeah.
was thinking, this bloke's got an Oscar somewhere sat on his mantelpiece.
That's funny because I had Al Friswell on here when I was actually at Romford, and Al he's a model maker. He's refurbing all the Harryhausen figures, and he had a similar thing. So when he was a little kid, he wrote to Ray Harryhausen and he got a response. But then he wrote, when he was older and he was doing this for a living,
Yeah,
he contacted him again and got replied to. So people,
yeah,
might surprise you.
yeah. I just couldn't believe. I said I'd had a few beers, and I thought, I'm just going to message him like that.
Yeah, because
And
what have you got to lose?
yeah, that's it. Yeah, and yeah, I just woke up because I think he lives in Sri Lanka or somewhere like that now.
Right.
And I just woke up to this really long reply, and a little while ago, I messaged him for Emily because she had to ask someone some questions within the prop industry. She said, "Oh, you know that chap to do with Star Wars?" And I said, "Well, I don't know him, Emily. I just messaged him once, and he
BFFs.
responded." Yeah, yeah. And she said, "Well, do you think he'd ask if I emailed him some questions over? Do you think he'd reply to them for my university course?" And I said, "Well, I'll give it a go, but don't hold your breath." And he did. So he
Wow.
responded and said,
I
"Send
love
me
that. I
email."
love that when people are really nice.
Yeah, well, as well to think he's not. And the thing is, I didn't realise until I'd read his autobiography, he actually comes from Reading, where I live.
Oh.
Um, yeah, and I think that was probably might have been one of the reasons why he responded to me, because I mentioned that, oh, I'd read your book, and I'm from Reading. I know you are. And then he went, yeah. He said, I grew up in Emma Green and all this business. And
Oh.
I think that sort of connection might have swung it a bit. So, but
Oh.
I'd never ask him. I'd never really sort of keep pushing him. It's only now
Yeah.
and then I might just send him a message and say, "Oh, just got to do this. If you've got time, how would you do it?" Um,
Yeah. Well, you know what? Go for the best and you'll get the best advice,
yeah,
won't you? So,
yeah, yeah. I
well,
mean,
thank you so much for coming on. We are
it's
at
great. It's been
time.
great. Great.
I'm going to send you Dragon, and
Yes.
I am in London on the 7th, but I don't know if I'll be able to come to Southend for the festival because I'm
Right.
actually, well, obviously London and Southend. I'm doing a different signing thing, and then I don't know. I don't know what my plan is yet, but I may
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm definitely going to try and get down there to sort of
Yeah.
like watch the Studio 69 just to see
Yeah.
what it looks like on film.
Yeah, I'm I'm interested to see how it goes down at the Southend Film Festival because there's a lot of penis in that film,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's what those audience would necessarily expect from a
Yeah.
Southend Film
Yeah. Well,
Festival.
if a lot of them get up and walk out, it's done
Yeah,
its job.
no, I mean it's a great film, but it's
Yeah.
probably niche. So I mean, I think people should watch it, but it's
Yeah.
just a different kind of film than I think they're used to. But
Yeah.
we'll see. Well,
Yeah. I
good
can
luck with
imagine.
everything as well. I hope
Yeah. Yeah.
your
Thank
move
you. Thanks
into
for having me
kind of
on.
full-time sets and props goes well for you.
Yes. Yeah. Fingers crossed. There's I've got a few things lined up to keep me going, and the escape room builds for James and Charlie
Yeah,
are keeping me going as well. So if you've got anything coming up in the future, just bear me in mind.
I will let you know.
Yeah. Brilliant.